Hello and welcome to this devlog for Clustercraft, the compute manager from Strong Compute for web browsers. Last time we left you guys, we were exploring the new load system that we've added. We're super excited to show off the next sort of step in managing all your data, as well as more visualizing your infrastructure and being able to see what you've got. So the pretty clear change in the top left, we'll go over in 1 second. We've got brand new ways to show off data sets, but I just really quickly wanted to touch on these logos here. So we've added a quick little way to see where your cloud provider is from, so AWS or GCP. If you wanted to make your own region that has these, we can create region. Now we've got a drop down. So if we can just add an AWS region, we can name it whatever we want. We just create. Yep, you can see that at the top it adds the AWS logo, and likewise for GCP. And then we've got a default one, which is just no logo at all. So this allows us to create cloud providers in the back end. Really makes it easy to see what provider your cloud comes from. All right, now that's out of the way, let's talk about data sets. So one thing that we've been sort of on the back burner for a while is data sets, siloing them as well as caching them to clusters, and then eventually displaying them in the world. So we've spent the last week making a whole bunch of changes to how data sets are interacted with, and the main one is this silo here. So if I click on this silo, it shows all the data sets that are cached to it, and then this silo will grow and shrink depending on the amount of data sets inside of it. So in our Australia data set here, we have 2 of them. They color match to these cylinders on the silos themselves. So it makes it really easy to tell how many data sets you've got siloed. We'll be working in the next week on a way to display these names and sizes without you having to open the window. So it makes it easy to see at a glance. But there's a couple things that we've added that make it easier to replicate and cache to clusters. So the one thing you can do is we can grab these data sets right out. If we can just click on the window, we can drag those data sets right out onto the clusters themselves. Just drag them out, just pop it straight on the cluster. Perfect, and it'll automatically start to cache. So it's great at the moment because it's loading, but it will automatically cache straight to the cluster.
There you go.
So we can see it in there. Perfect. And another thing we can do, if we open up the main datasets window here, that's the incorrect one. This is the datasets window here. We can see all of the datasets from all the silos and then where they're replicated and cached to. So one thing we can do is we can grab, let's say, this alpha dataset here, which is currently on the Australia silo, and we can drag it straight onto the United States silo. So if we could drag that straight on, perfect. That'll automatically replicate and then load accordingly. Another thing we can do is we can just delete data sets directly off. Yeah, and you can see it grow and shrink accordingly. We can get rid of data sets off the silos just by hitting that and unreplicating them, and then that automatically affects the world. So as you can see, it's going to be quite a simple system that'll allow you to replicate and cache clusters super duper quickly without having to jump into the command line interfaces and pull that data. So then we'll integrate that with your live data as well. So you'll be able to see those live in real time. So that's going to be really exciting.
The positions of these silos and data sets and everything, not 100% set in stone that they're going to be up here, because this kind of implies that both of these silos exist right next to AWS Ashburn, and that's not necessarily true. These are 2 physically separate regions, and they're just like abstractly right next to each other for your convenience, but we'll probably like chuck them on another plane of existence over on this side, so it's clear that it's sort of separated, while still making it easy for you to drag and drop stuff when necessary.
That's right. We've been focusing very much on the functionality of moving data sets around through the windows, and it's now time to sort of focus more on the 3D space of them, making sure those move around with the camera in a really easy to understand way.
All right. A few more things to talk about. First of all, this may or may not have been in a previous devlog. We can't fully recall, but we've got sort of logos for each of the GPU manufacturers on top of the GPUs. And the reason we're bringing this up is because we now have some for AMD and we've got some for Intel. So they're all different types of GPUs here. This is one type. I think these are B200s. These are MI300X. And these are Gordy 3.
Yeah. No, I don't think we have mentioned it before. So, yeah, there they are. When you add GPUs to a cluster and you select from it, we can automatically grab the brand of that GPU and it loads the texture accordingly. Just makes it easier for you to tell which manufacturer you're buying your GPUs from and which clusters have which GPUs on them.
Yes, sir. Finally, something I'll bring up real quick is we are working to make sure this CM3D, Compute Manager 3D, can be your one-stop shop for all of the FinOps for your infrastructure. And that means we need charts and we need graphs and stuff. So we got some rudimentary ones I can show off here just as examples. I've been told that we don't really use pie charts in industry, so these will probably become bar graphs later, but these are sort of showing you proportionally how much of your infrastructure is being used by each cluster. So you could see, oh wow, this GCP dev cluster, which is this one here, is using the most of my cost. It's costing me the most. You could see here how much is being spent between the infrastructure and the silos, and this is showing how much of our infra is in use. If I was to go over here and create a job that's like using this entire space, the moment that job starts running, you would see that this infra pops up and it updates just like that. And it's really, really cool. We've got some other charts in the works as well that I think are only running in game mode, and I'm happy to comment some code out just to show you how that's going to look. Like this. So it's going to refresh the page real quick. If we start the game mode, skip the tutorial. Yeah, we have this sort of budget visualization chart. Obviously kind of bugged at the moment, which is why I was hesitant to show it, because it's kind of stuffing data into multiple places. But this white line is your budget, and the green is how much you're spending every minute. Probably going to get rid of the minutely one and just make it every hour, like hourly spend. That's probably more important. You don't care how much you're spending in one single minute. But if we were to create a cluster that's using a bunch of money and it puts you over your budget, it's going to be red. So if your budget, this white line will change over time if your budget is going to change over time, and it will show you how much you're spending every hour and if you're under budget or over budget. And that will also read from your live data as well. And simply just pass it into this area nicely. So yeah, we're working on a lot of different charts like this, hopefully not as scuffed as this one, to make it really easy for you to just have just the one CM3D up, and you put all your charts around. Planning to have all of these be in their own windows. You can just chuck them around in the space the way you like it, and chuck this up on a big screen in your office, and it's going to look super cool. That's the idea. So yeah, good progress being made. This is going to get into your hands super, super soon. We've got a new build up recently, the first new build since late last year, and we are working hard to make sure our testing infra is good for it, so that it is all tested and rigid and airtight by the time it makes it into your hands.
That's right. We're super excited to continue moving forward these features. We're super excited for all of you to be able to jump in and visualize all your infrastructure.
Yes, sir. We will see you guys next time.
See ya.